Again, welcome to everyone. We do have one visitor comment this morning, and Ms. Aiken, would you like to speak now, or would you like to wait till the agenda item?
I can wait till the agenda.
Okay, excellent. We'll get you now.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, we are going to take first, we're going to move item 5 up on the list because we need to do it before we do the other reports this morning. So discuss and take possible action to approve line item transfer and
Good morning.
so what you have in front of you is a line item transfer from the Sheriff's Office, and this is for a fully grant-funded position out of SB 22. That money is currently sitting in capital outlay in the Sheriff's Office 560-4515 account, and this is redistributing it over to the distribution of other salaries, FICA, insurance, retirement, workers' comp, and unemployment. And this is all SB 22 funds.
Yes. The sheriff has requested a new position that's fully funded. It has not been approved before, so we're going to ask that this money would be transferred over, and it's for the rest of this year, starting March.
No, this position is going to be an evidence technician position. He or she will control all evidence that's being processed through the sheriff's office from the beginning all the way to the end into the court system. So it'll just be one person handling the evidence.
So my understanding is that this money will be reimbursed to this account once the SB 22 money is received.
We've already received all of the SB 22.
Yeah, it's in the account. We need to move it to the other line.
Okay. Perfect.
This is simply for budget compliance. The money's there, it's budgeted, it's just in a different account than salary.
I'll make a motion to approve the line item transfer.
Second. I have a motion and a second to approve the line item transfer. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Item 3, discuss and take possible action to approve personnel action forms. And one of those personal action forms, that's why we did that first, is one of the positions.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Our first personal action form is Casey Lutz, Human Resource Department resignation. Next one is Johnny Benya, County Clerk's Office transferring to Human Resource Department. Next one is Scott Simpson, District Attorney's Office, resignation. Jonathan Martinez, Sheriff's Office, resignation. Joe Ramon, Sheriff's Office. Now, last court, y'all asked me if there was any other SROs, and at the time there was no more. So this is just on paper, us switching him over. He was an SRO, and we're transferring him to a deputy sheriff position. So this is absolutely the last one that we need to do on our records. Correct. For Medina Valley. The next one is, as was stated before, the vacant position for the sheriff's office. Their title is actually going to be deputy sheriff. So that's what this personal action form is stating. But this is fully grant funded. Next one is Paul Rodriguez, Precinct 4 Commissioner. He transferred from 1 to 4. Steve Sines, PDO, new hire. Did I skip one?
Second. Have a motion and a second to personnel action forms. Discussion. All in favor, aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 4, discuss and take possible action to accept the revised notice of award to the Health and Human Services Commission of Infants and Children, local agency HHS 0008053000001, WIC, and to approve the special budget. And so Beverly's here, and I think you have everything in front of you. We're seeing this page, it shows the distribution of what we're receiving thus far, how it's adding to $33,000, and Beverly, I'll let you go to the special budget amendment later.
Okay. On the special budget amendment, we received an additional $33,000. $20,000 is for the extra funding, which is the first 5 items of the special budget. $7,500 is the next 2 for peer counseling, and $5,500 is the last 2 for lactation.
Did y'all get that? Did you? She's actually talking about on the special budget sheet. It's the first 4 items right there. 800. It's the first 4 items that are the 20,000.
5,000, 5 of them.
Right, first 5, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And the others are broken down.
And this is the request of Mandy. She provided the breakdown of where she would like to have these funds put to. But we're going to try in the future to always have, if we're receiving new funds, I'm going to try to submit it at the same time as the special budget. So you can see where we're getting it and where it's going.
I'll make a motion that we accept the revised notice of award to the Health and Human Services Commission.
Motion and a second to accept the revised notice of award from HHSC on contract number HHS 0008053000001, and also approve the special budget. Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 6, discuss with any possible action to approve accounts payable.
All right, the accounts payable is $393,334.83. We have 2 wires for $3,148.05. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. It's $693,334.83. That's the wrong line. So AP is $693,334.83.
I make the motion that we approve the accounts payable with the exception of 097 fund on page 2.
Second. I have a motion and a second to approve the accounts payable with the exception of the 097 fund. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7, discuss and take possible action to approve disbursement of funds since last Commissioners Court meeting.
All right, we paid utilities, fuel, and dental claims in the amount of $32,094.72.
I'll move that we approve the disbursement of funds since the last Commissioners Court meeting.
I have a motion and a second to approve the disbursement of funds since last Commissioners Court meeting. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 8, discuss and take possible action to approve the investment report for the quarter of October 1, 2024 through December 31, 2024.
All right. So in the first quarter of our fiscal year 24-25, we had a final CD at Community Capital State Bank that matured in December. It was cashed out, deposited into the general fund, and then moved to text pool. All of our other CDs are still with FNC. Our rates are 4.4 to 5.25 right now, the range. We also still invested in the text pool as our local government pool, and their interest rate is 4.71.
I have a motion and a second to approve the investment report for last quarter 24. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 9, discuss and take possible action to approve the final plat establishing the following units in the Woodlands at Devine Hills, located in Precinct 1 on FM 1283 and County Road 371. Unit 2A, Unit 3A, Unit 4A.
Yes, so these were 3 units that are going in at the Woodlands, and if anybody wants to go look on FM 1283, just west of FM 471, there's a large subdivision to the north. They have 2 entrances off of FM 1283. These units, the contractor has built all of the roads, and they're ready to start selling lots. Mark, do you have anything to add as far as roadway construction, drainage?
No, the roadways look good on all 3 of those units. The drainage infrastructure is already put in, so everything looks pretty good.
And they corrected everything after our on-site inspection?
Yeah, we've done a couple of sidewalks out there and punch list items for the contractor, so they've taken care of all those miscellaneous items.
And the public improvement district is actually supposed to maintain these roads, so it will not be the county's responsibility to reinvest in these roads as they deteriorate. So it's the subdivision's responsibility. So I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the final plat establishing units 2A, 3A, and 4A in the Woodlands and Medina Hills located in Precinct 1 on FM 1283 near County Road 371.
I have a motion and a second, as stated by Commissioner Castiglione. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 10, discuss and take possible action on preliminary approval of the plat establishing Megan's Landing Subdivision, Unit 3, located in Precinct 2 on FM 1957. I have a motion and a second to give preliminary approval of the plat establishing Nathan's Lansing subdivision unit 3 located at precinct 2 on February 1957. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 11, discuss and take possible action to accept maintenance bond number GM 244178 for street and drainage improvements at Hunter's Ranch subdivision, Unit 14C, located in Precinct 2.
I will make a motion that we accept the maintenance bond for drainage and improvements on 14C.
Second. I have a motion and a second to accept the maintenance bond number GM 244178 for the street and drainage improvements in Hunter's Ranch subdivision, Unit 14C. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 12, discuss and take possible action to accept the 2024 racial profiling report submitted by the Sheriff's Office. Chief, would you like to come up?
Yes, sir. It's a yearly report that's mandated by the state of all, excuse me, of all the traffic stops conducted by our deputies. Total number of 4,233. Enclosed, you see a breakdown of the requirements by the state as to documentation of all the stops. And of course, on number 6, the first page, reasons for stop is 1. We can't figure out where that comes from. Even the state can't figure out where that's from. So probably we believe it's a computer glitch.
My computer was that well.
Glitch.
Anybody have any questions for Chief?
I'm going to accept the racial profiling report.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the 2024 racial profiling report submitted by the Sheriff's Office. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 13, Discuss and take possible action to adopt a resolution proposing the efforts by the Texas legislature to eliminate countywide polling places, electronic poll books, and electronic marking devices. And we do have a public comment. Ms. Aiken, you're welcome to come forward at this time. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm going to try and... I thank the Commissioners Court for hearing my public comment on today's agenda item 13. Countywide polling place program is unconstitutional, violates the power of the people in the voting process by eroding the secrecy of the ballot and the ability to accurately audit the system because of countywide polling and outsourcing to third-party agencies and through faulty cybersecurity measures, which occurs throughout the entire electronic voting system. As per Texas Constitution, Article 1, Bill of Rights, Section 2, and the Texas Election Code Voting System Standards, Title 6, which is Conduct of Elections. It's under Chapter 65, which is Counting, Voting, and Preparing Returns. And Title 8, which is Voting Systems, under Section 122, State Supervision over Voting Systems. The current elections also infringes on the constitutional form mandated by the sovereign people of Texas in the Texas Elections Code, Article 6, Section 2 and 4. Elections are increasingly controlled and conducted by government agencies and third-party contractors. There are far too numerous examples to cite today, but I just want to talk about a few. Multiple methods of fraud have been identified in multiple counties across Texas and the nation within the electronic voting systems. This occurs from inaccurate voting registration roll books to cybersecurity breaches within the poll books and electronic voting machines versus voter paper printout results. Certification procedures are meaningless rubber stamping. There appears to be no certification specialists to certify voting machines before each election. The Secretary of State Advisory 2024-21 has identified numbering ballots instead of using the electronic poll book system or other technology that directly connects to the system in an attempt to prevent Internet-connected electronic poll book voter roll manipulation during an election. We're wondering if this is a guarantee for information security. And in the Medina County's 2024 general election, 25 ballots of voters who voted outside their precincts were uncovered and associated with those voters. Electronic systems can be hacked at any point and fraud can occur, despite the efforts of the Cyber Security and Infrastructure Security Agency. Recent audits of the Medina County voter rolls in 2024 also showed deceased voters, duplicated names and addresses, and incorrect addresses. Precinct-wide voting, instead, is proposed and supported as one of the Texas legislature priorities, which will secure the Texas constitutional form of Texas elections back to each voter, secure the ballot secrecy, allow for accurate voting roll books, which is the voter registration records, for each precinct, making the auditing the election and tabulation of election results a much easier process. Precinct-wide voting will permit an election system that is grounded in security through the use of the paper voter rolls and ballots and paper counting, and restores faith and involvement of the American people. The cost would involve far less than the cost of electronic voting systems and third-party involvement. Before this resolution is considered to be adopted, a Medina County Citizens Public Meeting should be held to discuss and address the issues between county-wide and precinct-wide voting and to inform voting citizens. Otherwise, how can Americans have election integrity without intelligent discussion? I thank you very much.
morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. I presented this resolution to y'all for consideration. If you would like, I can go through each point of the resolution. First one is that Medina County has participated in the countywide polling place since 2017. Currently utilizes 15 voting precincts and 8 polling locations. That is only during election day. This bill that has been presented or filed in the legislature is they want to do away with the countywide polling place for election day only. This is not early voting. The second one is many constituents benefit from the ability to vote on election day at a polling location of their choice. A lot of people work outside of Hondo, for example, or work in Hondo but live other places within the county, and they have the ability to vote here. For example, there may be an individual that may work in Devine or may live in Devine but work in Hondo, and they have the ability to come and vote here because of the countywide polling location. Whereas they would probably have to get off of work, go to that location, and cast their vote. The implementation of the countywide polling place has contributed to increased voter turnout and a reduction in the number of provisional ballots. In 2012, we had 58.76% turnout. In 2016, we had 56.88%. Compared to the last 2 federal elections we had in 2020, we had 66.96%, and in 2024 we had 63.79% turnout. As far as the provisional ballots, in 2020 we had 343 provisional ballots. In 2024 we had 260. If we would go to precinct base, I believe that number would go up substantially, because voters that go to a precinct-based location may be turned away because they're not in the right precinct. They may be offered a provisional ballot and then not go to the regular ballot at all. That's my opinion. The requirement for precinct-based voting in Medina County poses significant expenses and hardship for both the county and its constituents. One of them I just mentioned. The other one would be the cost that it would create for Medina County. Right now we use 8 polling locations. We use 4 poll workers at each location, so that would be times 15 locations versus 8. So that would be about 60 something poll workers. As it is, we're paying the poll workers wages of $14 for a presiding judge, $13.50 for an alternate, and $13 for a clerk, which I think it's on the low side. So that would create a big expense for the county. Electronic ballot marking devices. Let me go back. I missed one. The Texas legislature has authorized the use of electronic poll books under the Texas Election Code 31.014. That enables voters to sign in electronically, verifying their identification with official identification and confirming that they're not already voted during any election. So we have a software in our office which is called ePulse, and that tells us who has voted, where they have voted, what time they had voted. So and that goes for every location has one of these poll books, and they can tell if, Judge, you went to vote and then you attempted, for whatever reason, to go somewhere else, it would tell you right then and there you have already voted. So that's,
Don't use me for this.
well, just,
That's hypothetical.
most definitely, hypothetical. So it's a good software. The next one is the electronic ballot marketing. So before we used to have just the electronic version of what we have now. We didn't have any paper trail, any way to audit. Now we do have that. So an individual, a registered voter that goes in to vote and cast their votes, they would get a paper ballot. And they can see how they voted before they cast their vote in what we call our scanner. This past election, during the primary runoff, we had a contest, the Constable Precinct 3, where we had a vote of, the winner won by one vote. So we had a recount at the request of one of the candidates. And that vote came out identical as the results came out. 508 to 507. We were going to have another recount, which was the Tony Gonzalez and Brandon Herrera contest. Unfortunately, there was a error in the filing of the petition for a recount, and thus it was the recount was negated. We did not have to do that. All I can tell you, in my experience as the elections administrator for Medina County, the system that we have now is working. I've heard many a times that it's happening in other counties. I am not concerned with other counties. I am concerned with Medina County. And as long as we're doing what I believe is the right thing, that's all that matters. The National Disability Rights Network asserts that any state or jurisdiction that ends the use of accessible voting system is a violation of existing laws and may face significant litigation risk. The Americans with Disability Act, ADA, recognizes that hand-marked ballots are not accessible and do not enable voters with disability to cast a private and independent vote. I can assure you that every location meets all ADA specification. We have a voting unit that's specifically for individuals with any disability. All Texas County that uses electronic poll books and electronic marking devices are required by law to obtain approval and annual certification from the Secretary of State to ensure the security of the voting process for the public. That is my understanding, that the Texas Secretary of State conducts those certifications. And if our voting units or our software, which is the poll books, were not valid, then they would not have been certified in the beginning. So I'm asking you that I believe that reverting back to precinct-based voting would negatively impact the voting community, decrease voter turnout, and potentially disenfranchise a significant number of voters, including those with disability. With that said, I urge you that you proceed with this resolution and approve it. Any questions? Feel free.
Right. Okay. I'd like to make a couple of comments. I feel like our Medina County, what we offer, I don't think we can have anything that's more accessible or inclusive of people and their ability to get out and vote. I think that there's nothing important to myself, and I'm sure the entire court, other than the integrity of our local elections. We are concerned about the bigger part of elections, right? But our first order of business is to ensure that we are getting good results and that we have integrity in the local election. And to your point, I was one of them that was really, how much I kept hoping we were going to have the first recount, because I have high confidence in what our numbers would be. And of course, when the constable race gave us that opportunity, then we were able to look at it and we had the exact same results. So I don't know how you get better than the opportunity to put something into the machine that is printing out a paper ballot. The paper ballot everybody wants. We're holding in our hand. I get to look at it. And if it's not right, I have a chance to go back before I feed that in that machine to stop and say, I have a problem. But if that's my vote, and I look down and it's what I agree to, and I put it into that machine that now reads that, and shortly after the election is over at 7 o'clock, we're able to get those back and put those up on paper and get quick results. And then at the end of the day, and I don't think everybody truly understands that, because I've had some people ask me, is that ballot that was created, when we go back for the recount, there's nothing electronic about the recount. That's not fed back to a machine, and it's not read by a machine. That is looking down the ballot, the paper ballot, and making tick marks and coming up with the results. So we're not relying back on the machine, because somebody said, well, how do you know that the ballot, the code on there is not just what's part of the machine? Well, because we're not using the machine to recount. We're actually doing the count. So, we have, in Medina County, and I can't speak for everywhere else, but we have a paper ballot. And one that I, for one, would encourage whoever wanted to put groups together on after major elections, we have the ability, they can be recounted and checked. This group up here, I feel, wants to know if something was wrong. We would all want to know that answer. And what I hate to see us do is it feels like we're going to go backwards to something. Original frauds in paper ballots. If you only have one item, right now we have an electronic version that says it matches a paper version. If I get rid of the electronic, all I have left this. They dispose of the ballots, you never know where it went. And there's no accountability. We actually have accountability on both sides of it currently. And, over and over, I think I hear more that it's, well, we're not worried about Medina County. It's some big counties where there's always issues. And I've told a couple of the legislators, in my opinion, is, I said I equate this to, I go home in the evening and I have 6 children, and one of them knocked all the windows out of the house during the day, and so I decided just to spank all of the kids. It's like, instead of addressing the problem. So where we have issues and where we have counties with issues, those need to be addressed and they need to be fixed. But I really feel like the voters here, as far as if you truly want transparency and you want something that you can look at and have accountability to, we have a system that truly allows that at the moment. And I just hate to see us go the other way. The other part I don't understand is, we do the majority of our voting in early voting, so they're going to let us do countywide voting for basically 50 to 60% of the voting, but then on election day, they want it to be precinct only, and it's like, what's that accomplish in the grand scheme of all of it? It seems like if you're going to do it, it's like, if it's a problem, it ought to be a problem, not, it's only a problem on election day. So, that whole doesn't make sense to me of why we would be doing that way. In addition, I believe you all have, all the name of it, but after every election, you all also get notification from the Secretary of State's office, and you have to test, is that correct?
So we have to do a partial manual count. And
explain that.
Partial manual count, the Secretary of State gives us certain precincts that we actually have to count, manually count, to ensure that what the results were is what we have. And we have done that after every election that we've conducted. And every election, they come out the way they
So
are.
in order for you to do that, you have to take all of those ballots and you have to separate them out by precincts.
That is correct.
So even though we did countywide voting, Lupe and his team goes and actually takes, and I'm just going to refer back to it as the paper ballot, because it is, we just did mark on it, but it's ink marked, our ballot. They have to go and separate all of those out, and they do them by precincts. So ultimately, they have them back in stacks by precinct. And the Secretary of State says, you now need to test whichever precinct it is to see is that man in your manual counting those, correct?
That is correct.
So this is using the paper ballot manual count, and you are now checking that against the electronic results because they have to prove back to the state that that was accurate. So we have to do that on every election, and that's not, we don't know what, the elections office does not know which ballots those are going to be. They notify you of which precincts you're going to select.
That is correct.
So it's not like we know ahead of the schedule, what is it going to be? It's, they call and say, you're going to check precinct 1B or whatever it may be, and you're going to check 2A and give us your results on those.
But only,
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
The correct terminology for the paper ballot is called a PVR, print vote record.
And at the end of the day, we will, whatever decisions made at the state, the county's going to comply with it. I just think it'd be real unfortunate if we went backwards because we have a few bad apples. That's my opinion. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, Ms. Hickey. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to make a few comments in that I don't believe that there is people will be able to vote in their precincts during early voting and during election day, not just election day. And I don't think it's a hardship. I think there's enough time for people to get to voting locations for early voting and election day. And shame on them, they can't get there. They're also talking nationally about having a national holiday for election day, so people are able to get to voting on election day. I don't think voter turnout will be affected because people are more inclined to pay attention to what's going on, and I don't think it's going to be any harder to go to your precinct location to vote. I think there'll be less provisional ballots. If the voter rolls are more accurate and people know where they need to go vote, there shouldn't really be that much of an issue. If people are aware that they need to go to the precinct location, then they should go to the precinct location. There will be disability accessibility during paper ballots. Whether you do punch the machine or you punch a piece of paper, they still may need help doing that. Also, paper ballots, if you do paper ballots, they do not get destroyed. They are saved just as the election administrator's office saves them for, I'm not sure how long they save them, but they're not thrown out at all. There is a system in place already in Texas that several counties are actually doing paper ballots. The paper county is called Echo 65, and it's been very successful, especially in the counties.
And we've also seen some of those where there were some nightmares last election.
Exactly.
So it's kind of all over the ways. I said, if it comes right down to us, and like I said, I don't even want to speak for other counties. I can't. But at the end of the day, for us, we have something that I believe everybody thinks is a good system. It doesn't mean that what somebody else has somewhere else is. And I would like to see everybody get to something as great as what Medina County has. And instead, I feel like we're just trying to run completely back the other direction to something where there's not any accountability. I mean, we have, I think our system has the highest amount of accountability that happening currently. But I appreciate your words, and I truly do. And I mean, again, I'll go back to what I said. There's integrity of our elections. I don't care who we are, which side, what we think is best on this ballots or whatever. We all want to know that our vote counts, that we have accuracy. I think timeliness of results, all those things are really important.
Just something real short here. You know, as you said about that, when you get that number going there, they're going to give you any number. You you go back after the election and certain circumstances had to recount, say, hey, here's my number for my ballot. Keep showing it to you. A lot of people don't go, well, we get the number. That's what that's for. Hey, if you want to go get your ballot, how about on my vote counted? The next thing, we go back to paper ballots. What happened in Florida with the hanging chad? It took 3 months to straighten that one out. And you mentioned Gillespie. That was a total disgrace of the Republican Party what they done there. They wouldn't paper ballot. But they, 2 weeks, they couldn't even recount their own recount. And that's what you want to throw they want to throw the whole court back into. It's just going back 30 years. What happened in Fredericksburg should be up on every legislator that opposes it or proposes it. Look what happened in Fredericksburg. Prime example, they can't even recount their own recount. So I say leave it alone, that's going down the road.
I say you will get some here this week.
They don't have it. Hopefully most of them have it. And we spend a lot of money for where we're at today.
Excellent. Okay. All right, anybody like to take any action on it?
I'll make a motion to leave it alone. Leave it the way it is.
What's that?
Leave it the way it is. Get the offer of resolution to oppose any efforts by the legislator to eliminate it.
Is that a motion?
One more.
Second. I have a motion, that's a second, to adopt the resolution to oppose any efforts by the Texas legislature to eliminate countywide polling places, electronic poll books, and electronic marking devices. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. Item 14, discuss and take possible action to adopt the following Texas Indigent Defense Commissioner grant resolution. This is for the 2026 TIDC Improvement Grant Program with the Hill Country Regional Public Defender's Office and the 2026 Indigent Defense Improvement Grant Program for Mental Health. These are both programs, as it says, part of the PDO. Everyone, we were at a meeting a few weeks back, and the board approved. This is for the applications for next year, so we don't have numbers, we don't know any of that. This is for us to be able to submit the application for the PDO.
The application is due for both of these on May the 9th. So we are in the very beginning stages. We don't have any numbers yet. The numbers should be here by April because we're going to submit it to the board, and then I can bring the budget back to you.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the 2026 TIDC Improvement Grant Program, Hill Country Regional Public Defender Office, and the 2026 Indigent Defense Improvement Grant Program for Mental Health.
Second. I have a motion and a second to adopt the resolutions as stated by Commissioner Lynch. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. All opposed, same. Motion carries. Item number 15, discuss and take possible action to approve the we have Zoom, right?
This one is...
I'll let him get in.
No.
This isn't...
No.
This is next one. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I went off. Discuss and take possible action to approve Texas Water Development Board, the recipient serving as administrator for FEMA Flood Mitigation Assistance Program contract number 220001280 in this Phase 1 Flood Mitigation Assistance and Flood Risk Reduction Project Grant. This is the Hennis Flood Mitigation Grant Phase 1 only in the amount of $1.802218.39, so $1,800,000. Our county portion on this one is $180,221.84, and this is for the planning portion of the grant. Once we would get through this, then we would be able to we've been approved for the phase 2, but we have to complete all of phase 1 before we actually receive the contract for phase 2, which would be working through the actual.
So it's a 90-10 split.
That's correct.
Yes.
So 10% is paid by the local.
That's correct.
Yes, phase 2 is actual construction.
That's correct.
20 phases are there? Just the 2 phases.
Yeah, we'll have to get it through this, which is will be us coordinating, going back out to the public and working through all of the planning piece of it. And once we get that, then we could go to the construction phase.
I'll make a motion that we approve TWEB, the recipient services and federal emergency agency flood mitigation assistance program, contract number 22001-2806 for the Dennis Phase 1 flood mitigation assistance and flood risk reduction project.
Have a motion and a second as stated by Commissioner Lynch. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, now we will move on. Somebody from Great Works for the next. From this item 16 through 19 will all be part of this item. Yes.
Jennifer Lewis with Grant Works is on the line with us.
Yeah, she's
There.
Okay.
Everyone as well.
okay, for some reason when we have room 165 on our displays.
Yes.
Oh, is she just on? She's not on there. She's just on voice.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I can switch it off to video if you want.
Sure. Oh, how fancy we are. Yeah, somebody else. I got that. Okay, Jennifer, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. My voice is a little fading out right now, but I can hear you.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and proceed with our agenda. Item 16 is discuss and take possible action to approve the Texas Department of Agriculture Community Development Block Grant Agreement number CDB 23-0125 for a water line replacement in East Medina County Special Utility District. And I know this was in the amount of $500,000. And again, it's for East Medina, and there is a $10,000 match on it, that match is provided by East Medina. So with that, Beverly, I'm going to is that microphone on? Or if you want to take it off, let me check it. Just because I would make sure Jennifer can hear. Okay. All right. Beverly, I'll let you.
This one is with the Texas Department of Agriculture, which is a pass-through to them from FEMA. That is why we have so many housing issues that will be addressed further down. That's the first thing I wanted to let you know. And the second thing is that this contract, this agreement, this project took about 5 years to get to. Because we were getting normally every 2 years getting a community development block grant. And then in the last 5 years, they changed it up so that if we received a block grant, we were less likely to receive it again. So this was a nice, a nice project to finally get to. We've been trying to get to it since 21-22, the same project with East Medina. This first one is an agreement with the Texas Department of Agriculture, and what they're wanting to, it's basically telling us when we need to start, when we need to finish, and how much.
So I will need an action item on 16.
So for this grant, they're upgrading roughly 8,500 feet of water line. They're making it bigger. They're going from a 3-inch to a 6-inch on 3 county roads.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to basically make water more available to almost 200 people.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are low to moderate?
Yes, they have to follow a low to moderate income, LMI. And this survey was done prior to, actually this was the second survey that was done. So this is confirmed that they do fall within the LMI.
Okay. So really the grant is $500,000 and the match for this grant is $10,000. It's going to be paid for by East Medina. So I think that's a really great rate of return.
Definitely.
We used to get these, everyone was saying like, oh, every year you do that. And now, is that, and I don't know, maybe you or Jennifer probably know why for sure, but is that the same for the cities used to be the same, they get them every year, so is that the same for that whole program change? Is that correct?
That is correct. They've changed it. The scoring on it has changed. So if you had it last year, you could only get like, yes, major points.
Yeah, it was great when you get it. They would basically go around to all the different entities around the county and just rotate them. But it's taken a while to get it back to even get this program.
I will recommend to approve the Texas Department of Agriculture Community Development Block Grant, CDB 23-0125 for the water line replacement in the East Medina County Special Utility District area.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, as stated by Commissioner Castiglione. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 17, discuss and take possible action to adopt the following resolutions and or proclamations concerning the 2024 Texas Community Development Block Grant Program, Grant Agreement Number CDB23-0125. And this is adopt a resolution designating authorized signatories, adopting required CDBG civil rights policy, and proclaim April as Fair Housing Month.
It is as it says, the resolution for who can assign for certain, like the grants, only the certified authorized agent, which would be the judge, can sign off on like accepting the grant, or accepting the applying for the grant and things like that. And he has to go on TDA Go online in order to do that. And then we have the civil rights policies, which is something standard for TDA. The Texas Department of Agriculture requires all of the civil rights policies and the housing month of April for the Fair Housing Month. They require all of this information. And you can see on the civil rights policies, there's a lot of forms. Well, those forms are on the next item of agenda.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the resolution designating authorized signatories, adopt the resolution adopting required CDBG civil rights policies, and adopt the resolution to proclaim April as Fair Housing Month in connection with the 2024 Texas Community Development Block Grant Program.
Second, the only correction is the language of proclamation, not resolution.
Oh, sorry. A proclamation to proclaim April as Fair Housing Month.
Okay, I have a motion and a few seconds. A motion and a second, as stated by Commissioner Lynch. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 18, discuss and take possible action to approve the following grant policy and procedure documents related to the Texas Department of Agriculture Community Development Block Grant Program, Grant Agreement Number CDB23-0125. This is Code of Conduct, Form A1002, Excessive Force pay, Form A1003, Section 504, policy against discrimination based on handicap and grievance procedures, Form A1004, the Section 504 self-evaluation, Form A1006, the Citizen Participation Plan, Form A1013, the Fair Housing Policy, Form A1015, and the Violence Against Women Certification, Form A1025.
Again, all of these forms are a requirement of the Texas Department of Agriculture for this.
I'll need a grant to put in water lines.
Yes. That's why we ask for administrative services assistance through grants.
So one of the stipulations on the fair housing policy is that Medina County agrees to plan at least one activity during the contract term to affirmatively further fair housing. What are some of the examples of that?
One of the examples is just to put it into the newspaper as a public notice.
Okay.
Jennifer, is there any other ones that you may know of?
No, that's the main one that they required for TDA for this grant.
Okay.
That's right.
Who's going to muster up the courage to make this?
I'll make a motion that we approve the following grant policy and procedure documents related to the Texas Department of Agriculture and Community Development Block Grant Program, Code of Conduct, Form A1002, Excessive Force Pay, Form A1003, Section 504, Policy Against Discrimination Based on Handicap and Grievance Procedures, Form A1004, Section 504, Self-Evaluation, Form A1006, Citizen Participation Plan, Form A1013, Fair Housing Policy, Form A1015, Violence Against Women Act, Certification Form A1025.
I have a motion and a second, as stated by Commissioner Lawler. Any other discussion?
I just have one thing. So it's actually supposed to be excessive force policy and not pay. It's a policy as well. For Form A1006.
Policy.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that.
No, that's true.
Okay. That excessive force policy. Form A1003. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. All same sign. Motion carries. Item 19, discuss and take possible action to approve a grant administration services agreement with GrantWorks Incorporated for the Texas Department of Agriculture Community Development Block Grant CDB 23-0125.
This is our agreement with GrantWorks for this project. They are our service administrators.
I'll make that motion to serve the better. Authorizing additional application, $8, legal building grant program.
No, we're
on 19.
We're on
It does take off the action to approve the grant administrative services agreement with GrantWorks for the Department of Agriculture Community Development Block Grant. Grant CDB 23-0125.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. It's stated by Commissioner Sitter. Any other discussion?
So this is just hiring GrantWorks to help us work
That's
through
correct.
what we've been discussing in the past.
Yes.
This is really the item Jennifer was on for.
That cost us $8,400, which is paid by the grant funds,
Correct.
or by East Medina, or by Medina County.
There's no money coming from Medina County. It's just a pass-through.
Okay, any other?
For a second.
Wait a second. Okay. I have a motion and a second, stated by Commissioner Sitter. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, opposed, same sign.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And thank you, Jennifer.
You all.
I have a question. What is this project for?
Water line.
Water line.
Lines for the...
Yes, yes.
For a specific area.
For their East Indian.
No, East Medina is the water utility district, but it's like 800 and...
Here, I'll give you...
Thank you.
Way back 20 minutes ago.
Item 16,
Yeah,
is where it started. All this was part of 16.
Yeah.
It's all still one
It's
district.
still one. So there's 3 county roads that are involved in as a part of this grant. It's County Road 5710, County Road 662, and County Road 668. And the Medina County SUD is upsizing approximately 8,438 linear feet of water line from a 3-inch to 6 inch. Thank you.
Thank you both.
You said that's about 200 people? It is
176.
186.
Okay, we're actually through with it. We're gonna do a whole different grant here. We're gonna talk trash now. Item 20, discuss and take possible action.
Literally.
Submission, yes, literally, of an application to the ACOG illegal dumping camera program. So this is a program that came about through ACOG, and I believe we are trying to submit for 4 of these camera systems, correct?
Yes, sir.
I think I've already okayed it, that you're trying to talk yourself out of it.
Sure. You can do a little time there too.
Go ahead.
So this grant is for litter abatement. We have sent 3.5 officers. Sheriff went the last day, so Captain Grimes, Lieutenant Gonzalez, myself, and then Sheriff Brown also attended the litter abatement class. I guess we're certified now. So these cameras will assist us in posting and dump sites. And they also have cellular service that we would get notification of it immediately on our cell phones. And hope to prosecute and educate the community about illegal dumping.
Yeah, so hopefully this will help everybody. The sheriff will have those, but yes, for sure.
I'll make a motion to authorize the application for any offer for illegal dumping camera program.
Have a motion and a second to authorize the issuance of an application for the illegal dumping camera program. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 21, discuss and take possible action to authorize publication seeking sealed bids for remodeling the old Texan Bank building at 1502 Avenue in Mondo for the new tax office. As you all recall, we hired an architect 3 or 4 months ago or something like that. We worked through with everything with Melissa, and so we're just ready to go out and take it out and do our remodel, put it out for bids. See where we are.
I'll make the motion that we authorize publications to conceal bids for remodeling the Old Texas Bank Road, Casino 2 Avenue in Hondo, in the tax office location.
Have a motion and a second, stated by Commissioner Lynch.
How extensive are we talking about?
Not super expensive. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 22, public hearing to receive public comments regarding the adoption of traffic regulations under Texas Transportation Code 251-154, maximum reasonable and cruising speeds on County Road or County Road 512 in Precinct 3. This is a public hearing. It is 10:12 a.m. and I will open the public hearing at this time. And Commissioner Lynch, would you like to just give a brief comment?
Yeah, I want to reduce the speed limit, which is it's unposted right now. It's west of Gehennas. We've got a subdivision out there, so the traffic has increased on this rural county road, and I would like to decrease the speed limit from 60, which is the number that it is if you don't post it, to down to 35. So that's what I request.
Is there anybody from the public that would like to comment on this? Okay, hearing none, I will close at 10:13. And we will move to agenda item 23, discuss and take possible action to enter an order of Medina County, Texas, reducing the maximum reasonable and prudent speed limit on County Road 512 in Precinct 3.
So I'll make a motion that we take action to enter an order of Medina County, Texas, reducing the maximum reasonable and prudent speed limit on County Road 512 in Precinct 3 to 35 miles per hour.
Second.
I have a motion and a second as stated by Commissioner Lynch. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 24, discuss and take possible action to accept the newly assigned private road 7750 located in Precinct 4 into the official mapping system. Commissioner Lawler.
This is the one that was on the agenda 2 weeks ago that had the wrong county road number posted. I have been out and inspected everything. It is ready. So with that, I make a motion that we accept the newly assigned private road 7750 located in Precinct 4 to the official mapping system.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the newly assigned private road 7750 located in Precinct 4 into the official mapping system. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 25, discuss and take possible action to accept the donation of office furniture and supplies from Capital Farm Credit for Precinct 4 Commissioner's Office. Commissioner Lawler.
Yes, Capital Farm Credit is closing their office in Devine, and they are donating all their office furniture to us. If it passes here today, I'll accept it. We'll pick it up this afternoon. It's a desk, a couple filing cabinets, a laminating machine. I think that's about it. So, with that being said, I'll make a motion that we accept the donation of office furniture and supplies from Capital Farm Credit for Precinct 4 Commissioner's Office.
Have a motion and a second to accept the donation of office furniture and supplies from Capital Farm Credit for Precinct 4 Commissioner's Office. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 26, executive session. The court will meet in executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code 551.071. Consultation with attorney regarding pending litigation and a request made by Jonathan Newmaker that Medina County provide him with legal representation for the duration of a civil lawsuit filed against him and Medina County by Brandon Sanchez. So at this time, everybody's welcome to stay. We are to the back conference room and do this executive session item, and then we will return to conclude the finish the meeting. And I'm going to executive session.